Brian, you may need to call the meeting to the order. I don't know what's going on with the mayor.
Okay,
Oh, looks like he just got here. Hang on. All right, I think we're good to go. He's joining right now.
okay.
All righty. Man, the sun is hitting that truck over there. Blinding me. All right, he's on.
I'm on, I'm ready.
All right, we're waiting
We all
for
set?
you. Okay, Rotabeck,
Okay, we'll call the meeting to
Here.
order. Pardon?
Giesler, Ducastle,
Here.
Redline,
Here,
Nichols,
Here.
Culpepper.
Here. Okay. Open the meeting or floor up to public comment. Is there any public comment out there this evening? No public
Well, when it
comment?
gets-
No one on the phone?
I don't see anyone on the phone that isn't on the agenda right now.
Okay. I guess I don't know Mr. Hall, so. All right. Item number 3 is approve the minutes of July 2020.
motion to approve.
A second.
Motion to approve the minutes of July 6th, 2020, and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye or roll call. Sorry, Paula.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Giesler,
Yes.
Ducastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yes,
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. And I will make note for everyone's benefit that even if I forget, that roll call is a vote on the Zoom telemarket. It's not a yes or no vote. So everything has to be roll call. All right, treasurer's report, item number 4.
motion to accept.
I approve it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the treasurer's report? No discussion, roll call.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Giesler. Giesler,
Yes.
Ducastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yes,
Nichols. Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. Motion carried. Treasurer's report. Item number 5 is consideration of the marijuana license. The planning committee just met an hour prior to this. And Alan?
Planning committee, we had a public hearing on special land use and site plan amendment for 120 West Grand River. And it was a change from a micro business to adult use. It was unanimously approved by planning committee, and I would recommend that city council do the same. And I will make a motion to that effect.
second.
We have a motion. We have a second on the consideration of the license moving forward for the adult use reseller. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Giesler,
Yes.
Ducastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yes,
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
We have a motion. Yes. We have a second on the consideration of the license moving forward for the adult use reseller.
Why am I hearing that again?
Discussion?
That was weird.
Roll call vote.
frozen.
We going backwards.
What happened?
I have no idea, but it played back.
Yeah,
So we did not record the roll call vote, so I don't know, or played it back, so I don't know about that, but. All right, I guess if we're done with that one, we'll go to number 6, which is consideration of the SATA commitment. You have a letter, you have a graft, you also have a letter stating that actually there was just about approximately $1,000 not used last year or charged for. So floor is open for discussion.
So I guess looking at our packets, I didn't really see the usage on that. Like, I haven't really seen their because of the COVID as well, but I haven't seen their SATA buses around at all like you used to. So I don't know. I mean,
The usage was in your packet.
because I didn't see it, I
Yeah.
guess I skipped. It's hard to look at it on your phone, I guess, but I was trying to see that and I didn't see it. So I was looking it over.
Laingsburg had 316 rides at 3.37%, and that was in the city. So I actually believe that we've actually picked up a whole lot of riders compared to a year or two ago.
Oh
Because
yeah,
we only
we
had
used
2 or
to
3.
had like less than 10.
That's what I was trying to look at and I
Right.
couldn't find it. So
So actually the people are starting to respond to having it. And they're asking for, well, I'm just guessing right now because I'm not looking at that page, but it's about $4,500 for up to 4,500 or around that area for renewal.
It's $4,589.51.
Not to exceed.
Very good. Thank you. I just found it myself. So
How much of an increase is this over last year?
well, it looks like last year that we committed to 3,300 and we got 992 back. Is that correct, Paula? Or didn't get charged for?
That's what we're paying is the 3,300.
Okay.
But our actual amount would have been about 4,300. So it would have been a $200 increase. But we actually got $992.50 less is what we had to pay than what had been anticipated.
So why did we pay less? Could that happen again too?
It's in the letter that she sent that explains it. But I guess it could, you know, I mean, it just kind of depends on what their costs are. It says the savings to Laingsburg taxpayers has been made possible by the combination of a decrease in fuel costs and their successful campaign to seek local advertising revenue, as well as their continued efforts to keep the expenses low as possible. I mentioned something about COVID, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think with ridership increasing and you know, the marketing and exposure increasing, that we don't stop it now and see where it goes next year. And if it levels off or decreases, then you know, we might reconsider. But the amount like it was last year, you know, was not to exceed like $4,300. And this one this year is not to exceed 4589. So if in fact the ridership is not where, you know, if we're not at full capacity for ridership, we're going to get another rebate.
It says they had a 3-month suspension of service. Are they serving the public again now?
I don't know. Whatever this letter says, I that's all I can tell you is what they sent.
Hmm.
Well, it's talking about wearing face masks and stuff, so I'm assuming that.
Social distancing, face masks, so
Yeah,
they must
I'm
be
assuming they are.
they must be operating to a
Yeah.
degree.
I'll make a motion to not to exceed 4,589. for the SAT transportation for this next year. I think it's important that we have it for the community.
I'll support that.
We have a motion and support to pay up to 45.87, I think it was.
89.51.
89, sorry. Other discussion? Roll call vote.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Newcastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yeah,
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. Motion carried. Number 7 is appointments to the library board. We have 3 candidates for the board that I would recommend that we accept and make a motion to approve.
Support.
so moved.
We have support, motion, second. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, who did that?
I thought Mike made the motion and I was supporting, but apparently somebody else is making a motion also.
Yeah, Mike asked for the motion.
Okay, that's
I
I got.
went ahead. Yeah, he said I would recommend that we, accept these. So I said, so moved.
So. Any other discussion? All right, I guess we're ready for roll call.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Newcastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yeah,
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. Motion carried for the appointments to the library board. Number 8 on the agenda is the request for approval from the LSW 2020 or 21-20 budget. It's 2021, so. And there is a letter in there showing that their expenses and costs and so forth are, and so.
So it's the 21-22 budget. I got it written on there wrong.
Yeah, it's right.
Did you guys?
I seen 2021 as that ain't right, but
Okay.
so. Has anyone got any questions on the budget or want to make a motion to accept it?
Make the motion to accept.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call, Paula.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Heatherington, oh, wrong one. It's not on here. Newcastle,
Yes.
Redline,
yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. All right. Motion carried to accept the approval. Number 9 is proposal for a Tai Chi in the park.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I think you should probably let Tim talk.
Yeah,
Well,
hello.
I knew he was here for some reason, but he's tried to a couple times, but I thought, well, we're going to get there. I know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me on the agenda. Yeah, I wanted to run it by the city. I knew it would probably be okay to have Tai Chi in the park, but I do charge for my lessons, and I wanted to be above board and get the approval for that. I do have one concern about that. I'd like to advertise, and I'd like to get your input. I could advertise, and provided it's approved, I'd like to advertise it as Tai Chi in the park. But if that, I don't know, if you don't want to have a commercial, advertisement such as that, I could just advertise it as Tai Chi for health, and the location would be in the park. Yeah, I'd like to have your input on that. Or first, I see if it's acceptable.
I don't have a problem with it Tai Chi in the park. I'm just wondering about which night Normally we got Wednesday nights, the farmer's market. You know, if it was a different time, we'd have movies in the park and possibly music there as well on Wednesdays.
Okay, I was looking at Thursdays, like 6:30 to 7:30, right around there. And yeah, there's a couple areas in the park that will be suitable. The one grassy area between the children's playground and the pavilion, that's away from all the, looks like the activities. And then there's another area if you're looking at the park, to the right of the sign, there's a little knoll up there. And it depends on how many people I have. I don't anticipate having a large group. Probably be lucky initially here to have 3, maybe 4 people. But I'm flexible too, as far as I could look at what you have scheduled, you know, and work around that.
I'm assuming you're using social distancing and it won't be more than 100 people, obviously. Are you requiring a face mask or not requiring a face mask? Or
Well, not requiring a face mask at this point, but I will definitely make sure that it's 6 feet, probably more distance apart. I myself, I'm very concerned about that. I wear a face mask anywhere I go. Definitely keep to 6 foot, and I'm becoming more assertive in people who are getting closer to me than 6 feet. But yeah, that'll be in the forefront of the class.
I'm unfamiliar with your service. Does it require you to be licensed and insured?
It doesn't require it, but I am certified by Dr. Paul Lamb. He's probably the preeminent Tai Chi teacher nationally and internationally. And I have to take continuing education to keep my certification. And I do have insurance, $2 million per occurrence and up to $4 million. So yeah, I have to keep that to be certified.
Okay, if this is approved, I'd like to see that, copies of that insurance and your certifications, you know, with the city.
Okay, sure.
Then as the mayor, I have one question for you besides that. Those were coming, but I hate to sound this way, but as long as you're using a park and charging, are you going to give back to the community in the park?
Well,
in any way?
I hadn't planned, you know, I know that Lansing, you know, if I participate in any of their activity centers, you know, they take a cut, but, you know, they provide the advertising, they collect all the money and they provide the building. Whereas in the park, I don't see that I'm increasing any, you know, I wouldn't incur any expense that the park would have. I do support the community. You know, I'm at the hardware so much that my wife thinks I'm having an affair. So I do contribute in that way, but I hadn't planned on. I think it's going to be a hard sell to get people to, you know, to join. And if I raise the price anymore, I think it's going to even be harder and may not be successful. If you know, if this works out, and next summer I did it again, and you know, I became more successful, I think that may be feasible. But at this point, I don't think they can charge anymore.
I would suggest that maybe you go down to the farmer's market on Wednesday and kind of put up a table or something, or talk to Dina about doing that. So it's the day before your thing, and kind of maybe use that a little bit as advertising might be a good idea. Wednesdays.
That's a good idea.
There's across the way, there's a band going and stuff, and there's a lot of people sitting out in front of Twilgers. I mean, it might be a chance for you to promote, you know, socially distancing, but promote your activity.
Yeah, I thought, you know, the other thing for the for Laingsburg, you know, the identity, I would think that, you know, seeing another thing that's you know, interesting, I think that would add to people's perception of the city.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. I mean, if we pull people in, initially you get 4 or 5 people, and then by next summer you're up to 20, and half of them are coming from scenic lakes and half of them are coming from Lake Victoria. And then after the session, they go down to Avon Grace or they pick up something at the store. Well, that, anything to bring people into the city. And then obviously, utilize the resources and the vendors and our businesses. So, and after
Well, just-
3 years, if you got 200 people there, well, we can have a party.
Yeah. Well, right now is with the COVID thing, I'm going to limit it to 8 people. But next summer, who knows? That hopefully that we'll be past this or moving on.
Yes.
I would think that if council were to approve this, that you should coincide your calendar with the city's calendar, not necessarily the days you want, but the days that are open for the city and not a congestion or whatever at the park. So they have a calendar, they can sit down with you and discuss whatever time and days, and that would be the appropriate way to do it if this council approves this.
Okay.
So under that,
Yeah,
is
I'm
there
okay
any
with
other
that.
discussion? Okay. Is there any other discussion by council members?
Are we gonna discuss
Then-
about making it in the park idea, or?
I like Tai Chi in the
What do you
park.
mean?
I do too. He had said so about either he was gonna call it one thing or another, and he wondered if we were okay with him saying in the park. I personally am okay with it because I think we're promoting a nice area that we have.
Well, we've got music in the park and we've got everything else in the park, and let's have Tai Chi in the park. And that promotes the park and everybody knows where the park is.
I agree.
I agree too.
I think we're ready, Paul. Unless somebody else got something else.
So is she looking
Did I
for?
lose my clerk? All right, we've already had a motion in a second. Where's in discussion?
Okay.
We're all muted.
Okay, I just wondered, because he added, he wanted to see the insurance and that, and I didn't know if that needed to be added to the motion.
Sorry, I remember Rhoda Beck made the motion. Who seconded it?
I did.
Okay, thanks.
I figured you're doing Tai Chi in the park.
All right, Rhoda Beck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes,
Newcastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yeah.
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes,
Mayor, we did have a couple of people join for the public that were not able to get on earlier because they were having difficulties. So just so you know, I have Lisa Jelinek and Jody Frank on if you want to open public comment back up at the end.
okay.
Or
We'll do
now.
that right after we do the bills.
Okay.
We'll do it right now. That way we can get it. They don't have to hang on because I know the internet's kind of funny tonight. So if they're on the line, they'd like to speak, then let one of them go and then we'll do the other.
Jody?
All right, this is Jody. So Jody Frank. So in June, we talked about movies in the park being on hold because of COVID, and we were going to revisit that in August, and here we are. So I just wanted to see where you guys stand on it for the rest of the summer, just so we can have something, a public comment from the city so that we can let people know how we want to move forward.
How do you feel about it, Jody?
I don't think we should do it. I don't think that we're going to be able to limit it to 100 people. We know on that night, we
Right.
probably have that many kids come and get set loose and they're in the park. And I just, well, while I don't like it like the rest of us, I don't think we can limit that. And I don't think we can social distance. You know, we might be able to keep everybody and their family on their own little grass spot. I think as a whole, we have too big of a number of people that come, and especially since we all been cooped up. If we opened it up, I think I think we have to pause for this year.
Yeah, me too. I think it's nuts that we would even consider it with the numbers going back up. You know, phase 3, maybe bumping back down into phase 2,
Yeah.
limiting outdoor gatherings. You know, the state guidelines and the CDC guidelines, and you know, we have not, with our positivity rate, we are not where we want to be. And so to open it up in August, and we're already in August, and do it 2 or 3 times, and then somebody get infected based on a community-driven event, I think would be extremely irresponsible.
I'll make a motion then that we cancel the movie in the park for this year and revisit it next spring.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion on that?
I don't know if the
Roll call
13th year
vote.
was the omen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I didn't catch who supported that.
I supported it.
Oh, thank you. And
All right,
this,
thank you.
so we're not gonna revisit, we're just canceling it for 2020, correct?
Agreed.
right. I think school's supposed to start in 3 weeks, so that kind of puts a nut into it anyway, so.
Well, the message cannot be ambiguous. It's got to come out from the city and
Right.
say, we're not going to revisit it again, so you can sit there in October. No, we're done with it for this year, and everybody will understand why.
And I think it would be helpful if, you know, Paula was able to give me that public, you know, from the city that I can post on our site. So it's something concise, and that, you know, city council has made this determination, and just so we're clean.
And I think it's a wise choice all the way around. So. All right, who was the other person? Lisa?
Yeah,
Jelinek?
can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. Jody, are we all set?
Did
Oh,
we
she's
vote
muted.
on that, Mike?
We did not.
That's what I was gonna say. I think you need to take a vote. Yes.
Roll call vote.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Ducastle,
Yes.
Fredline,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. Motion carried. No movies in the park this summer.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right, thank you. Thank you for letting me jump in a little late. I was a little confusing on the meeting IDs. I kept going to a DDA meeting from July 27th. So Paula helped me out and got me to the right number. Quick question. I was reading the minutes from the July 6th meeting under the public comment and just wanted clarification on who is Marcus Brayman, and could you explain resolution number 2008 about extending deadlines for marijuana facility permits? That is what those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
The reason why it was extended was because of COVID.
Okay. My question then, I guess, is resolution 2008, Mike, is we're wanting more marijuana facilities in our town, or that's what I guess I was a little confused about. What is resolution 2008 and who is Marcus Brayman who brought that to your attention?
Well, that was the extension resolution that we extended it, to my knowledge.
Okay,
And Marcus Brayman is somebody that's bought a building, okay? I don't know where it's at this point, but he's just asked for more time to apply because of the COVID. And that's what that's all about.
And I think it wasn't just COVID. What he had already done was he had done some legwork. He had done
Uh-huh.
planning. He couldn't get the architects in there to finish the layout drawings, and he certainly couldn't have started construction. And he was going to purchase this building because of COVID and because of the state restrictions that that the people that set up businesses like this could not be there in time. So he would say, hey, why am I going to invest all this money if by no fault of my own, I was not able to complete the process because the state of Michigan shut down the businesses. And so we moved the timeline so that we could have another investor. It's not that we're actively seeking pot shops in Laingsburg.
Okay.
It's that we only, we allowed 4 licenses and we only got 2 applications.
Okay. Okay.
And so, with that investment, I think Pete can speak to this too about what was not able to be
Yep.
done. So we opened the window for another 6 months so that he could get it done and actually be an investor and, bring a building back to a taxable base and provide a little, I guess, friendly competition. So Pete, if you wanted to elaborate on that.
Okay. Thanks.
Just briefly, the original deadline was contemplated by the city council and by us to an extent because we were worried that the city was going to be overwhelmed with applicants initially. That did not happen. So so when we look at those potential ones, we had set up for each type of license to have 2 in the city. We didn't want to, one, limit it the competition, but we also didn't want it to be all across the city as well, for this to be the mecca between Clinton and Shiawassee counties. So 2 was put out there. Mr. Brayman commented back to us, hey, I was not able to get these things done. You do allow 2 licenses, and it's just the deadline that was extended because we still, as the city, my understanding looks at this, we don't want to be overwhelmed with them. So if
Right.
Mr. Brayman or anyone else is able to get in before the end of this deadline, then the city council will have an opportunity to choose the best applicant.
Okay.
Mr. Liskey is essentially in.
Right. That's what I understand, Pete. Yeah, with him. Okay. But we don't know where this building is that Marcus Brayman is looking at.
We have not received an application yet that would indicate something that I could share.
Okay. Is it going to be a freestanding building? As I have heard in the past, it must be a freestanding building. Is that
Well,
correct?
Freestanding was only as it concerned the actual growing.
Okay.
So if they choose one of the other licenses, it can be an adjacent or a fixed building.
Okay. All right. I appreciate everybody's input. I was just, reading the old minutes and just had some questions concerning who he was and what this resolution was all about.
Yep.
So
Fair questions.
thank you very much for letting me come in late. I tried to be on
Yep.
time, but had some issues. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your answering my question.
Thank you. All right. All right, item number 10, I believe, if I to stand to be corrected, if not. Item number 10 is resolution to enter into the installment purchase agreement for a leaf vac. You have a layout and scale of the interest rates, the installment payments, the total payment, blah, blah, blah.
I'd make a motion to accept this contract.
I second that.
We have a motion and second to accept the contract and go into the purchase agreement. Any other discussion?
The thing is, we didn't want to have to shell out $43,000 that was not budgeted for. And this is a much easier way and not, ultimately cheaper upfront way to get a vital service back on the road. I watch these DPW guys and people that have brush out on the I don't know, what do you call that? The curb.
Herb?
the easement area. They're coming in with a huge truck and picking it all up with a forklift and then having to rake it up afterwards. Not only does that present a clear and present danger about loading those forks and getting this big backhoe up in there, but it's not nearly as efficient as when those guys can just chip it up, drive it out, and dump it. So, they've been busting their tails all during this COVID crisis, and the least we can do is get them a brand new piece of equipment.
So agreed. Any other discussion? If not, Paula, we'll take a roll call.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Ducastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. Motion passed to go into installment purchase agreement for a new leaf vac. Item number 11, let's pay the bills.
So moved.
I second that. Pay them bills.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, Paula, when you're ready.
Rotabeck,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Ducastle,
Yes.
Redline,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Culpepper.
Yes. Motion carried to pay the bills. Committee reports. We have a DDA in here, which the DDA is moving forward with the amphitheater with the city and working through some of the things. And they currently are working on a new sign for the park, the final historical side for the amphitheater and stuff. I think it's going to be nice. It's being put together. And so it's kind of where the DDA is at right now and what they're doing. So I know there was a couple other in here that I seen that had reports for committees.
We had planning
Is there
commission,
anyone that,
LSW.
yeah, okay. Chief, do you have anything? Is he on here today?
Yep, he's on.
I'll let him do his and then I'll find the other one. There's the planning. Okay.
Oh, all right. Basically, we had 13 reports. Nothing that really jumps out at us. We did have 81 traffic stops, so that was up a little bit with 36 traffic tickets being issued. She saw 45 traffic warnings. Again, our big contenders are speed. Other than that, the schedule was in your packet. And starting August 26th, I'll be out of commission for a little bit.
Hey, Dan. I just wanted to ask. I see an overdose on that. Hopefully they survived. Whoever it was.
Kind of. We're still in the hospital on a ventilator. Last time I checked, she's still alive.
Wow.
But unfortunately, it led to some other complications. So last I knew, she's still on a ventilator.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Dan,
Okay.
do they update you on COVID cases in your jurisdiction?
They did previously, but they have not recently, pretty much because there hasn't been that many cases in Shiawassee County.
Okay.
We're pretty much flatline.
Okay.
I
don't need to know names, but if we can get some idea of the infection in the cases in Laingsburg, that would if you could dig through.
Yeah, even
maybe make a-
countywide, I would say 80% were at the retirement facilities. And so with the rest of the general public, previously there had been about 6 in the Laingsburg area, not so much as in the city. And since then, Shiawassee County has not had an increase hardly of anything.
Well, so I I was told tonight by a neighbor down over, he used to be an officer here, a while back. But he's on Second North. Be what, east of here. He claimed that, I guess his neighbor or something, two of them or something's got it. Next time, I don't know if that's true or not. But I was curious on that as well.
That could be. If they have it, they have to be, quarantined.
I hope they
But,
do.
but I haven't gotten anything from the health department.
Gotcha.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, we have the planning commission.
We discussed that earlier in tonight's meeting.
Right. So that was pretty well done. Then also there's a letter in your packet discussing the fact they're going to start cleaning up the Looking Glass River again. So, and through Laingsburg and so forth and outside areas, just a note for you know that. So is there anything else under that under planning or meetings? If not, we'll move on to others. You see, you have on your schedule a drain maintenance scheduled. There's no recycling in August. Your amphitheater updates is it's been ordered, and the band shell has. Paula, did you say Wednesday?
Yes. Are you talking
At
about,
what time?
are you talking about for the groundbreaking ceremony?
Yes.
Yeah, we would like to do a ceremony Wednesday around 4 o'clock. We'll have the media there. Justin Horvath from the SEDP is gonna come and bring his shovels, and we'll do a photo op. So anybody that can make it, that would be great.
I'll try to make it. Hopefully I can be there by 4.
We got 14 shovels. I was hoping that Jody would be able to make it, and I don't know if anybody has a contact for Lori Strom anymore or not, but that would be nice.
What's the dress code?
Our final phase.
What do you want? Business casual, or do you
I
want
bet Jody's got a,
golf outfit, or what?
Well, I think that business casual or, just something nice would be fine. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snappy casual or business.
No overall.
Okay.
So if anybody, if you're gonna make it, I'd kind of like to know if you could at least just give me a heads up so I know how many we have coming.
I'll make it a point to be there.
Okay.
Wednesday.
I should be there, Paul.
I'll be there, Paula.
Cool.
I will do my best to be there.
It's next Wednesday on the 12th, correct?
No, this Wednesday.
This one,
Oh, okay. Yep.
2 days.
Yep. Okay.
They just dropped off a big truck tonight, so they'll likely be moving dirt while we're doing this. So,
Yeah, most likely. So,
but that's okay. That looks good, right? With the big dozer in the background.
yeah, it's work in progress. So. Also, I guess I'm sure Paula would like reminders tomorrow's elections. Is, of course, the mail-in ballots, and then also at the fire hall for the elections. It's open, I believe, what, 8 o'clock, Paula, or 7:30?
Polls open at 7.
7. Okay, so have that. Now, what else do you have, Paula?
I think you've kind of covered mine. I just wanted to make sure that we get that groundbreaking ceremony done. Been crazy busy in here getting ready for the election, and then we're doing that swap on our we installed our new software. We're no longer using the old, so we're trying to get that all up and running, and then keeping up with these Zoom meetings and apparently putting the wrong numbers on the website. But I guess, we're human, right? So, but we've just been trying to get this sign done and the park going and keep up with all the, masks and cleaning and COVID stuff. So just been a little bit crazy around here.
Thanks, Paula, for everything you do, because I know you got your hands full.
Thank you. And I see that John Liskey, he has some comment, must be, because he's got his hand up.
I just wanted to thank you all. This has been a long process, and especially thank Pete Preston and Mike Daly Martin. Our plan is to submit for building permits in the next few days and get going with construction and starting to, rock and roll. So thank you guys. This is, I know, been back and forth, and I really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you all.
Thank you, John. I have one other thing under others I'd like to bring to this council. It kind of was brought to my attention today that, or not today, I'm sorry, it was Thursday or Friday when I went through town, that our private vendors for the restaurants and the bars and so forth are playing their own music. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Why are they got radios and stuff in their restaurants open loud enough to hear on the streets when we got a big, huge system sitting in the library that we're not using? I think a council ought to consider the fact of moving it out of there to start with when the amphitheater is done and put it in there so it can be controlled by city employees. Because we're not getting the benefit out of our equipment, and it should be playing right now. While we have restaurants on the sidewalk and bars, we should be playing some kind of music to keep people in town.
I agree.
I mean, that's what we bought it for. Everybody wants to use it when they're doing their thing, but when we want to do something for everybody else, it seems to fall short. Nobody wants to handle it. And it's hard to do anything if they're not doing it in the library for us. So that would be my question to this council, is to actually approve the moving of it and the financial move, which we have no idea what it is at this point, so that we can actually put it into full effect and use it. We got to work out a plan where we can get to it now in the library.
Everything's hardwired back to the library at this point, isn't it?
I don't know how it's set up. I mean, there's only an antenna outside.
Where would you want to have the central location?
We would put it in the amphitheater, or thought of, or in City Hall, wherever they felt would be best.
What about a remote control? Where
That's
we
a good
can,
idea.
what if
If
we
we
can
can
run
get
it?
one.
I mean, is there a way to wirelessly control that thing?
I have no
I
idea.
believe there is.
I feel like that might be a good option, because then we wouldn't have to rely on them to play the music. We could do it ourselves.
And I couldn't imagine that being too expensive to do that. I wouldn't think.
I know the speakers are hardwired, and they're hardwired through conduit under the sidewalks into that building.
Yeah, so I think the
Hey,
point
Castler?
here is that the usage and the availability and the access to be able to run the receiver. So I'm inclined to agree with Paula. If there's any way, if that receiver is not too old, I mean, it's got to be only 4 or 5 years old,
Right.
that it may have some remote capability, or that we could establish some remote capability. I mean, let's be clear. The DDA paid for the thing. The city didn't really have to invest a dime into it, and so if we need an upgrade, I would, be in favor of recommending that we at least explore the possibility of remote. And then if remote is not possible, then we move on to the next option.
I mean, hopefully, if it's a newer system, might be able to Bluetooth it. But that'd save a lot of money.
Oh, we should be able to go computer controls with it.
That system is, Mike, it's got to be 10 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably close to 10 years old.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what its capabilities are, or upgrade capabilities. I mean, we are looking at a whole lot of different things that could be, but just that receiver alone, if it could just be upgraded and it wasn't that expensive, that had a remote or Bluetooth, it might be something to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I just know coming through town, when everybody's on the street eating and walking back and forth between buildings, that that's where we're at now. We're outside. We're not inside. Only when we have to be do we go inside. And I think that if they're playing music at their restaurants, we ought to try to accommodate it. And whatever, if we move forward, whatever it may be, but we also need a plan for now.
Yeah.
Because right now our businesses are using it. So I'm not sure what that is. I just think we need the support of everybody, the council saying, whatever it takes, we're going to get it done to play music or whatever. And I don't know
agree.
who to approach at this point.
I mean, I think at this point, it'll probably be next summer. I mean, it's a project, so.
Most likely it'll have to be unless somebody comes in and pops some music in occasionally and just plays it for that purpose. So,
Well, we got 3 more months of the tables and chairs, so
yeah,
we'll see.
that's why I say we still got a half a summer, as we say. Might not be summer weather, but
Do we have
half a summer.
playlists on CDs anywhere? Do
I
we
think
have
could
playlists
probably
on CDs anywhere? Or is it on a computer? Or?
I don't think we need CDs, but I think we can figure that out.
I believe it's set up on an iPod now.
I believe you're right.
I think there was issues because some of the music, sometimes you have to pay for music if you're playing it over the thing. I think that was part of the issue of what music was going to be played and stuff starting out. But I
No,
think
it wasn't either. We've got a license to play music, but it isn't the radio. So we're paying for that music every year for a license, and we're not using it.
what I was saying was, I think at first when it started, they were trying to play some radio station and it didn't work out. And now I think they've got it figured out.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
That wasn't any problem.
Okay.
Hey, we could have a contest, Monday playlist, and go online and have everybody input their playlist, and then we draw them out of a hat for that week. And, on Tuesday, it's Brian's playlist. On Wednesday, it's Marcy's playlist.
Oh boy.
The other thing I
That
was
might not be
wondering,
so good.
we probably should think about too is if the businesses want a live band, then how they would put maybe request in that to have it that day going, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, we keep in touch with that stuff, so I'm pretty sure if there was a band, we could make sure it was shut
Right.
off.
Right.
Hey, this is Laingsburg. They just shoot at the speakers.
Well, and the speakers where they're at are pretty well fine. If we can figure up a way to remote work it, then we would be probably in seventh heaven, as they call it.
Well, right now the music that's downtown is, 1 day a week for 2 hours. So there's a lot of other hours during the day that music could be played.
Yeah, go over to St. John's. You'll hear it 24 hours a day almost.
Well, so I don't think we need a motion for this, just a recommendation from council to explore the options and to begin to utilize the equipment that we have.
I agree with that. For sure. Get our usage out of it.
Well, I'm certainly in favor of it, since I was the one that worked on it to get it in there.
So
But if it's iPod or something like that, it shouldn't be too awful hard, I wouldn't think,
Well, Dave and I can work together to figure out what equipment changes and what license we need to play music. Because we do pay for the licensing, so.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend that we refer to DPW.
Ooh,
second that.
Right.
On teamwork.
Dave, he said refer to DPW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just added you to my list.
Perfect.
Well, that's all I had. It's just after I heard it, or heard the music coming out of the restaurant or wherever it was at. It was like, well, is that our music? Why not? So that's all I have.
And that's probably better yet to have it on speakers, because some of them songs or whatever band they had one whatever night, I heard dogs howling all over town. So,
So tomorrow for the election, just so everyone is clear, our election workers are supposed to wear masks. They have the option to wear gloves. We have a lot of sanitizer, wipes, spray, all that kind of stuff. We will not require a voter to wear a mask, but it is, encouraged, obviously. We've got the 6-foot stickers up, tried to rearrange the hall so we had a little more room. Going to put up less booths. We're going to sanitize the pens. Anything I forgot? So, in case, we do have a temperature checker there, but that's just for the staff. We won't be checking, people's temperatures that want to vote, none of that. So if you hear anything, that I just wanted you to know that's our plan.
Sounds good.
We've had almost 200 people already vote with their absent, well, 144 turned in their ballots, and we gave out 187 already.
Huh.
So.
I
Quite a
plan
few,
on,
actually.
I plan on wearing my mask coming in and vote.
Well, you're welcome to, but we won't be turning away voters that don't have them.
I'll definitely wear it.
All right. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.